completely, or there's a twist in what we are going to hear from you?
Pranesh, good evening to you and the fellow panelists. I want to say one thing. Give me as much time as you gave Shazia Ilmi, and without any interruption from either you or her, and I will make my points in half the time that she took. Number one, I'm borrowing from my friend Ratan Shardaji, whom I personally have a very good relationship with. He's right. In a secular country, Ratan Shardaji, does a prime minister make hate speeches against 200 million citizens who happen to be Muslims? Does a prime minister ever do that? Question number one. Question number two. Everyone is talking about Shah Bano, but can we bring the attention to Bilkis Bano? Gang rape in the 2002 Gujarat riots when Mr. Modi was the chief minister, and the rapists are released on the 75th year of India's celebration of the Independence Day, and the central government knew when Mr. Modi is the prime minister. You think we should not be talking about Bilkis Bano? She had to cry for justice. Point number three, lynching cases. You know, I love the hypocrisy and the fraud of the Saffron Parivar. They talk about Muslim women, but when Muslim men get lynched to death on suspicion of cattle trading, who suffers? Who suffers? Who cries? Who becomes a widow? Will somebody answer that question? Point number four, when people in religious congregations call for the genocide of Muslims and the government looks the other way, you really are talking about a secular society? You're talking about respecting India's constitution? I think these are the fundamental points, Pranesh. You know, we are losing ourselves in this intricate nitty-gritty of what happened in the Shah Bano case. Let me tell you, since everybody here claims to be an expert, I have also read that judgment 10 times over. Let me tell you what Rajiv Gandhi did. Rajiv Gandhi turned that judgment around because he was advised by senior Muslim clergies who were in charge of the religious affairs of the community that you should try and not allow this to happen.
Why? That's the question. Why did he give in to the pressure?
1 minute. You can call it as a political error that the Hindutva later on exploited and led to the rise of the BJP. But I don't think he did it with any nasty intent. There was no need for him to polarize anything at all. He had 414 seats in the Lok Sabha. For God's sake, I mean, try and understand the larger context that it was.
No, let's have that conversation on the larger context. Why did Rajiv Gandhi bring in this law to overturn the Supreme Court verdict? You are saying, look, this was an innocent move. And the points that you were making earlier, it's not as if Hindus have not been lynched, Mr. Sanjay Jha. There has been lack of outrage on that also.
Is that your defense?
And there have, no, and you know, 1 minute. You've been on many panels with us on Times now.
Can you find
when
out
we've taken up such subjects, there is a
Pranesh,
profound lack of outrage in such cases too. So let's not go down that route. Let's stick to the subject we are discussing. I just wanted to tell you that because, you know, you were talking about it. Now, Ratan Sharda is responding to the point you made.
Yeah, but I hadn't finished, Pranesh. You interrupted me.
You can carry on. You had 5 minutes more than anybody else.
Oh, really?
Can I now?
No, I'll come back to you, Mr. Jha. I'll come back to you. Let's get a response. I'll come back to you.
See, first of all, Sanjay Jha is very clever. He always diverts the debate. Question is today's Supreme Court judgment. Is it about Gujarat riots? Is it about anything else? Is it about political speeches? So don't divert the issues because you don't want to commit that what has been said by Supreme Court is correct. Because that will kill your secular credentials to get back to Congress. Now, point is, Modi ji has been acquitted by Supreme Court. You'll keep on quoting it. Bilkis Bano and their accusers got punishment. You are talking about that. I have a list of more than 100 Hindu activists killed during the same period when you talk of 4 or 5 lynching done against cow smugglers. Cow protectors have been killed. I have a whole database of that. So don't talk of that. And when you talk about Kalji, I'm sorry. Today you have articles way back from the time when one of the politicians who stood up in the parliament to oppose this particular judgment was the one who tried to influence Rajiv Gandhi, according to one, Mr. Rashid Kidwai, your own friend in Congress. Second is the claim that MJ Akbar tried to influence the decision. So what are you talking about? There were no clerics on the scene. It is unfortunate that a PM who had 450 or plus seats got influenced by politicians, didn't have his own mind. That is the reason Muslim women went on suffering. Poor Shah Bano, a very poor lady, what did she get out of it? So don't try to divert that case. You just say whether you like the judgment or not, whether you will go with the Sharia-loving people or you will go with the secular state. Then we can debate about
Okay,
Gujarat riots
let's
100
get the
times or whatever.
response now.
Pranesh, here is the short answer that Mr. Sharda is going to duck and avoid. If indeed, Mr. Sharda, your government had actually been a secular party, and one of the reasons why you got defeated or you did miserably in this election is because when you were talking about changing the constitution, you were not just threatening the people from the lower caste in the Hindu caste system, but everybody knew that your leaders wanted to remove the word secular. Your intent to create a Hindu Rashtra, which the RSS wants.
I must answer.
But Pranesh,
I
one
must
minute.
answer.
Pranesh, 1 minute. Why is he interrupting me? Why is Ratanji interrupting me? I have respect for him. Let him demonstrate.
I just raised my hand.
Behavior. Anyway, Pranesh, here is my last point. Let us come to the brass tacks. If indeed the triple talaq was so good, you know the truth, it was actually posing a criminality and very easy to imprison people. Triple talaq was not as straightforward as it looks. And here is the fundamental point. Why did the Muslims and the minorities, not just the Muslims, but even the minorities vote against the BJP? Because they know that the BJP at core is a fundamentalist, is very religious-centric, and is following a policy of communal polarization led, unfortunately, by the Prime Minister himself.
Mr. Sharda.
Can I answer now? Yes. First of all, I'm surprised that Mr. Sanjay Jha is actually defending the fake news spread by Congress. That the government is going to destroy constitution, that government is going to remove that reservation. It was pure fake news and there were news built on. Please, now don't disturb me. Now don't disturb me. Actually, Congress needs to be pulled to the court for spreading fake news to win election. Now you're disturbing me, please. Okay. We know, everybody knows the fake news. Everybody knows, used by AI is used to spread the word across UP and Rajasthan everywhere that BJP is going to destroy constitution and stop reservation. It was total fake news. You stood by it today defending it. That's really shameful for you to do that. And secular, is it the word so sacred for you that you are talking of? It was not in the original constitution. It was inserted in the constitution in 19... Now, why are you smuggling mine? It is not true. It was inserted in 1976 when every opposition person was in jail. That becomes the fundamental question for you. And lastly, now since I talked about lynching, I'll just give you a few names. I hope he remembers. Harsha, Lavanya, Ramalingam, Nikita Tomar, Bharat Yadav, Ankit Saxena, Ankit Sharma, Hina Talreja, Vikas Yadav, Kiran Kumari, Chandan Gupta, Bandhu Prakash, Twinkle Sharma, Rupesh Pandey, Priyanka Reddy, Kamlesh Tiwari, Kishan Bharwat. These are all names for just 4 or 5 years. Do you feel regret for that? Why do you have even secularism bias when you talk of lynching in the crowds? New law is brought up with lynching by this government.
And
not
you
your
were talking
government.
about triple talaq, Sanjay Jha. Very respectfully, if the Congress party that you think espouses secularism or is the champion of secular politics, why did you oppose criminalization of triple talaq?
Because, 1 minute, what were we talking about in the triple talaq debate, Pranesh? Go back to it. We said that the law that was created by the BJP made Muslim men highly susceptible of being charged with a criminal intent and imprisonment even before they were given a